UNC spokesman Jeremy Sharpe told Inside Carolina in a text message, I'll read it for you here. It's that time of year, so someone is going to start this rumor in the hopes of affecting our team and or recruiting like they've done the past 2 years. Mack is full steam ahead. In fact, he already has spring practice planned and is currently setting up recruiting visits for December. So no, he's not retiring. Close quote. I'm not bleeping leaving. It was a conversation that was popping up, although I don't know if it is as nefarious as that text made it out to be, where it's like, oh, they're trying to upend us. He's 72 years old, right? You hit an age where, and this is, ageism. You hit an age where people just start to wonder, right? You hit an age where the person who, is gunning for your job just starts looking around going, so, bet you want a little more time with the grandkids, huh? Right? You just start saying it. So it's going to be a question every year from now until he does retire, each and every year until he does what just happened, right? Until he says, no shot, I'm 100% coming back, then you operate with that. But guess what? At this time next year, it's going to be a question too, and it's not just going to be started by your rivals that are trying to knock you down in recruiting. Matter of fact, part of the story, right, if you pay attention to the bigger picture, part of the story around Mack Brown is the response from fans since this quote came out to Inside Carolina. But part of the story is the response from fans that had seemed to come to grips with him leaving the program or retiring from the head coaching job. And maybe they had already talked themselves into that being the best thing for the program. And maybe we're a little like, oh, he's coming back.
Seems like a lot of people were ready for defensive coordinator Gene Chizik to take over.
It's just like, it seemed like Mack's coming back. All right.
I guess. I guess we'll take it.
We're not gonna force him out, but it felt like part of the response was everyone had already moved on. So that's from your own fan base, right? That's not from other fan bases, other coaching staffs that were trying to recruit against you, saying, "Oh, you're what? You're a junior now in high school. Well, what are the chances you think, when you're graduating 6 years from now, Mack's still going to be around," right? That's not what that was. That was your own fan base kind of going, well, all right, not full jubilation.
Speaking of being a little extreme, I'm looking underneath the replies of the article that Inside Carolina posted. One fan commented, Roy Williams said the same thing after kissing the court. Hopefully Bubba has had the come to Jesus conversation that says we're not really asking. Wow.
Interesting. That's forcing him out. I don't think anyone wants to force him out. I will say this, though. Actually, you know what I'll say? I'll put it this way even better. Having Jeremy Sharpe, the spokesman, say that, so no, he's not retiring. Having that be the message it's either the classy thing or the honorable thing to do, which are both positive adjectives, right? It's either the classy thing or the honorable thing. If he does retire this offseason, then saying this is the classy thing because it doesn't take away from the players, right? Maybe he doesn't want the last little go-round in the ACC, the last couple games, to be the Goodbye Mack show, right? Maybe he wants it to be about the players. I really respect that. I don't like retirement tours. I don't like, quite frankly, what Coach K did, what Derek Jeter did, what Kobe did, what Dwayne Wade did, what Big Papi did. I don't like the retirement tour where, at every away arena, you're walking around waving at fans that had booed you for years, now pretending like you're friends. I think it's Tim Duncan had my favorite retirement of all time. This is the timeline of Tim Duncan's retirement. It was like 10 a.m. There was a press release saying Tim Duncan's retiring. There'll be a press conference at 11:30. At 11:30, he spoke to the media that could assemble quickly for like 20 minutes. And by like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, he was touching down in a Caribbean island somewhere, getting ready to live the rest of his life. That's how I think it should happen. So I think the classy thing would be to deny, off-season day, have your moment. Let the players have their moments when their eligibility is running out.
And if this is true, which I feel like it is, because Mack Brown seems like the kind of coach to stick to his word. We kind of mentioned it earlier in the week. Maybe he just is not ready for the significant turnover that's going to happen with the roster to be thrown on a new coach coming in.
If he doesn't retire, right? Because it's the classy thing, even if he is going to retire, to not take away from the players. The honorable thing, right? Because I said it's either classy or honorable. The honorable thing would be if he doesn't retire, even if he wants to. Right, even if he's like, I'm kind of done with this, but I'll put in another day. I'll put in another week. I'll put in another year because it's what's best for the program. Get another quarterback established if you can find one and implement him into the offense, and then pass it off to the next coach so they're not having to go new coach, new quarterback, new this, new that. Also, and I hate to say this, if you can't find the next quarterback and implement them, lower expectations a bit, right? Leaving the program after you just had a Drake May year, everyone's going to go, well, if we're not in the mix for, a top 10 ranking, this season's a huge disappointment. And it's like, well, actually, even Mack, as great of a coach as he is, was buoyed by Drake May. And if he's not going to be there next year, expectations are going to have to take a step back, but no one is going to attribute that to the quarterback. Everyone's going to attribute that to the coach. So I think regardless, yeah, right, because I'm not going to, what do I say all the time, right? At the podium, you're not under oath. I want you to show some honesty, be some transparent, but there's certain things that, quite frankly, lie about because it's better for your team. And if Jeremy Sharpe, if Mack Brown is telling Jeremy Sharpe, no, of course I'm not retiring. I've already planned spring ball. I've got recruiting visits planned. And in the back of his head, he's going, oh, I'm gone. That's fine. I won't hold that against him because he'd be protecting his players' shine this year. And if he's thinking, gosh, I wish I could retire, but no, I'm planning spring ball, I'm planning recruiting visits because it's better for the program. This isn't a good year for me to retire because then you'd be looking to replace your best offensive player, your best defensive player, your head coach, so many important people in the line. I'll hang around one more year. I think that's honorable. So for now, what we know is Jeremy Sharpe, the spokesman for UNC, told Inside Carolina in a text message, Mack Brown's not retiring. Until we hear different, I'll take it on face value and say he's not retiring.
Think Jeremy was listening to the show on Monday?
Maybe. Maybe he's like, Tim's gut reaction to watching that game is all wrong.
Stirring up the pot.
Hey, Jeremy, if you are listening, I'm believing you right now. I'm choosing to.